wish I could be with you, and I wish I could be with you, Alice, for this fundraiser, for this evening. As you know, well, you can see that right now I'm not in my riding. I'm not in Saanich Gulf Islands. This is part of our Whistle Stop tour between Vancouver and Alberta. We're going to be stopping later today in Jasper, and then a big rally tonight in Edmonton, and on tomorrow to Calgary. So we are running a national tour, but it doesn't let me get to all the places I got to in 2008. So I'm sad to miss you in Kelowna. But I can share with you that the national campaign is going extremely well. We've certainly had a blow in the way the consortium decided to treat the Green Party in this election. There's no excuse for it. They have no defense. They had no rules, and they had no criteria. But they decided, in collusion with the other national parties, to try to shut us out, not just out of the debates, but out of the election. So thanks to the work of grassroots Greens, they're not succeeding. We're getting the message out. We're getting our platform out. We have a fantastic platform. And I find that when we engage with Canadians at the Whistle Stop tours or in town hall meetings as we travel the country, people are really interested in the details of what we're proposing, because we're the only party proposing a really positive vision for Canada, one that really shows how we can pay for our promises with a 3-year budget that shows how we bring down the deficit faster than the Harper 2011 budget. It shows how we can bring in early child care spaces, affordable housing, respond to the crisis on First Nations reserves in terms of education and health care and affordable housing in First Nations communities. It's the only platform that really deals with the current crisis of the climate change events that are happening, that are already affecting world food supply, and that our government is completely ignoring. As a matter of fact, we use the climate crisis as what it really is, the largest economic opportunity in the history of humanity. And we base all our economic policies on how to create a smart, modern economy for a post-carbon future. And that's one that creates hundreds of thousands of new jobs across Canada. We're particularly concerned with jobs for youth. We see persistent unemployment levels among our youth. So we've come up with a really innovative youth job corps that allows municipalities to hire young people and have them work at the municipal level. And then when they've finished their job training, job experience with their local municipality, they get $4,000 back towards reducing their student debt. That's not enough, of course, to help students be able to afford university. We have tied funds from federal provincial transfers to ensure that post-secondary education has money, that universities are not squeezing students for higher and higher tuitions. There are so many issues that require action, and we basically categorize them in 3 ways. That we have a fiscal deficit, that's the one everyone talks about, but we also have a social deficit. We have a growing gap between the wealthiest and the poorest. And we also have an ecological deficit in loss of species diversity and in the climate crisis. And a lot of the solutions to all 3 will come down to one smart policy choice. For instance, supporting local farmers deals with ecological deficit, fiscal deficit, and social deficit. We need to have healthy food grown locally, and we need to support local farmers. We're the only party that really embraces the reality of Canadians who live in cities and Canadians who live in rural areas and resource-based economies. So I'm very proud of the platform, and we've been sharing it across the country. We've been doing everything we can in this election to reach the 41% of Canadians who chose not to vote in 2008. We can get that group of people to choose to vote at all. It will change the results of the election. Of course, if they all voted Green, I'd be forming a majority government. That's the nature of Canadian political life at this point, that the largest voting bloc in the country in 2008 were the people who didn't vote at all. So we're trying to reach people with a message of hope, a message of inspiration, to encourage every Canadian, all of your friends and neighbors, people you work with, people you go to church with, people you run into at the grocery store. Ask them about politics. Wear your Green Party button. Wear it proudly. Engage people in conversation and start telling them about what we stand for. Because a lot of Canadians are looking for the Green Party. When they find us, they're so thrilled. They're saying, gee, this is the party I was always looking for. I wanted to find a party that was smart about fiscal matters, that cared about the environment, and that also was committed to social justice. I just didn't know there was a party like that that was already national. So this is the election campaign for our breakthrough. This is the time that we'll be electing Greens to the House of Commons. We need to grow our vote across Canada. You've done fantastically well in Kelowna. You've done a tremendous job in the past. We need to grow that vote, grow that level of support. And Alice Hooper, you're a wonderful candidate. I'm so glad you're running, and I hope that tonight's event will give you the additional boost you need. We're on the countdown to May 2nd. And of course, it's great in my riding where people can say vote May in May. May 1st will be the kickoff last set of rallies before we make sure we can get out the vote, make sure that our Green Party lawn signs have reached every lawn where people want one, that people are excited and engaged. Right now in Sandwich Gulf Islands, we have over 1,000 volunteers from the community working on our campaign. There's never been a Green Party campaign like it, and I want to share with you the enthusiasm and the optimism of my team. But nothing is going to be easy. We have to work for every vote, and in Kelowna, you have to work for every vote. Be sure to talk to people before the advance polls. Be sure to get them to the polls May 2nd. And those of you there to help Alice tonight, remember the good tax treatment for your donations. A $400 donation will only cost you $100. I know $100 is a lot, but bear in mind how far your support will go on Election Day to change politics in Canada. We're in a race against time. We're in a race against time on the climate crisis. We're in a race against time to rescue democracy from the well-organized political party machines that want to run it as a cynical game. This is our time. It's time. Donate, volunteer, and vote. It's time to vote green.